Hi students, I am Dr. Badrinath and I am handling the subject of pharmacology 2 for third year B Pharmacy students belongs to first semester. And in this video we will see the anti-anginal drugs. Anti-anginal drugs, that means that it is related to the heart and coronary arteries. Okay, and here you can see the diagram, coronary vessel, coronary blood vessel. You can see here the formation of plaque, this yellow color formation on the walls of the coronary arteries. This called as a plaque. Okay, and let's now we will see in depth. Keep in your mind, anti-anginal is a very severe condition. Number one, okay, very serious condition. It is related to the heart. Okay, Anji means generally five in the Tamil language. Anji means 5. Within a 5 seconds, okay, there must be action. Otherwise, it is difficult to save the patient life. Keep in your mind. Okay, that is in general language. I have told Anji means 5. Within a 5 seconds, okay, you have to start a treatment or any tablet has to give immediately within a 5 seconds. Otherwise, the patient will die. Okay, yeah. Now we will see in depth what is anti-anginal drug. And this is a syllabus of your unit 1, pharmacology of drugs acting on a cardiovascular system. I have already told cardiovascular system. Cardio means a heart, vascular system means circulation. Okay, so heart plus circulation system collectively called as a cardiovascular system. Okay, and these are all the drugs 1.1 to 1.6, all are the drugs which are used to treat the cardiovascular system. Okay, and here 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, these 3 parts I have completed in my previous videos. Keep in your mind. Okay, if you want, you can go through the my previous videos and you can start watching of it and try to understand the topic. Okay, and now the highlighted point 1.4, the highlighted point, that is anti-anginal drug. That is our topic. Today's learning outcome is a anti-anginal drugs. Okay, see, this is a structure of the heart and coronary artery diseases. I have already told you anti-anginal, angina pectoris. Angina pectoris. It is mainly related to the coronary arteries. That is the main link, coronary arteries. It sounds like a coronavirus. Okay, it sounds like a coronavirus, not corona artery. Don't write in the exam as a corona artery. Corona is a virus. Corona doesn't consist of any arteries and any veins. It is a just virus, corona. Whereas here it is a coronary artery. Okay, and this coronary artery, see here the heart structure, and here you can see the coronary artery and the heart. See, and this heart, this coronary artery, it supplies the blood from the heart to the heart itself. Okay, from address is heart to address is heart. Okay, and it is a very narrow. See here how thin is there. Here you can see how thin it is. Very thin. That's why it is a problematic. See here, very narrow and very easy to block. That keep in your mind. If it is very narrow, very easy to block. Okay, that's why it creates a problem. For example, say, and here you can see the 3 diagrams. One is here healthy artery. It is a very healthy. So it looks like a good blood flow is also good. And here you can see at the both sides there is a formation of a plaque. See the spelling here, plaque, Plaque. It obstructs the blood flow. This is due to the cholesterol. If you are taking excess fat food, cholesterol, oil food, if you are taking etc. and all, there is a more chances of the formation of plaque in the coronary arteries. In normal arteries, even though there is a formation of a fat, it is not a problem. Plaque formation in, because they have more diameter is high, whereas in coronary artery diameter is very thin. That's why here it is a problem, plaque. Whereas in normal arteries, normal means even though there is a formation of plaque, it is not much problem. It is a problem only, but not much problem. Whereas here it is very, very important. So see here, plaque obstructs the blood flow. And see here, third image, nearly complete blockage. See, almost completely blocked. See, opening area is very thin. So flow of a blood is very difficult. See here, suppose say at this point, see my cursor, at this point there is a blockage. There is a blockage. So what happened? Entire the branches, all the remaining branches will not get blood. All the blood will flow up to here. From here, it will not flow. So what happened? Entire this heart tissue will die. Heart tissue. See here the color, light pink color. All this light pink color of the heart dies. So when the heart tissue die, that is a myocardial tissue dies, total heart will not be function. You will get a very severe pain. That is called a coronary artery disease. Okay. Yeah. In this slide, you can see coronary artery disease, formation of plaque. So we are going in this slide, we are going up to the micro level of the coronary artery. See here, arrow mark, how the blood is nicely flowing here. And here formation of plaque or cholesterol, bad cholesterol is started depositing on the inner walls of coronary artery. Okay, so plaque build up in artery, coronary artery disease. Now what happened? One side is a okay, little bit okay. Now another side also there is a formation of plaque. Okay, if the patient is start taking food, cholesterol food non-stoply, and here also formation of plaque. You see both sides, it becomes still narrow. This condition is called as a angina. Angina. Angina means anji means 5 in the Tamil. Okay, and it is a harder for blood. It is a very hard for the blood to get through the artery. Okay, very difficult. See, almost it is very difficult to flow. It is somewhat easy, somewhat, not completely easy. And heart attack. This is a third stage. Third stage. Plaque cracks and a blood clot blocks the artery. See here, blood clot. Here both sides plaque is formed, and at the center blood clotted. Blood clotted. So that blood cannot flow from this area, So entire the area, whatever is there here, the heart tissue will die, definitely it dies. It leads to a heart attack, okay? See, keep in your mind, coronary artery disease leads to angina, angina leads to heart attack. In competitive examinations, and in regular examination, you have to mention these three differences. You draw the diagram in the examination, okay, and show the structure. What is coronary artery? What is angina? What is a heart attack? These three, here you have to show the blood clot also. Blood is reversed. See here, blood is reversed. All these marks, and it is here, both sides plaque formation. Here, one side plaque formation. Okay, these three steps are very important, and most of the even MBBS doctors also, they do not know the clear-cut difference between the coronary artery, angina pectoris, and heart attack. Okay, now it is very clear. It is important for pharmacy students, B Pharmacy, okay, MBBS, PG, Okay, for them all. And M-pharmacy, pharmacology also. Yeah. Next is ischemic heart disease. Ischemic. It is a new name. See here, ischemic heart disease. It is a new name. It is also known as coronary artery disease. It is a synonym. Okay, in the exam, don't get confusion. Both are same. Ischemic heart disease, coronary artery disease. These two are same. Okay, whereas the previous three are different. Okay. CAD, in short form, it is called as a CAD, coronary artery disease. Actually, ischemic, see here, isch means love. Okay. Okay. Ischemic love. When the love starts, your heart gone. That's why love is indicated with the symbol of heart. Okay. There will be definitely heart problem or breakage of the heart. Okay. So love has that much of capacity. It breaks the heart. Okay. Inside there is a heart diseases is started accumulating. Okay. That's why it is called a ischemic. The name itself indicates ischemic means love. Okay, so your heart will get blocked. Keep in your mind. Okay, ischemic heart disease, IHD, is a condition in which there is an inadequate blood supply and oxygen to the portion of myocardium. IHD means ischemic heart disease. There is a very poor blood supply. So there is no oxygen will not go to the coronary arteries. So there is no supply to the heart muscle. So it may lead to a problem. And there is an imbalance between the myocardial oxygen supply and demand. Myocardial oxygen supply is very little bit, but actually heart demands more oxygen. But due to the inadequate blood supply, only little amount will go, only little amount. Otherwise it stops also. Okay, clear. But here demand is high, whereas the supply is less. Oxygen supply is less, oxygen demand is more, one side. Okay, due to this, what happened? Lack of oxygen, it leads to the entire tissue of the heart started damaging. Okay, it dies. Yeah, and it is mainly caused by the atherosclerosis of coronary artery. Atherosclerosis. What is the meaning of atherosclerosis? Plaque formation, deposition of cholesterol on the inner walls of blood vessels is called as a atherosclerosis. It includes, okay, it is not much important. Okay, there is angina is a two types, stable angina, unstable angina. Here stable means there is a angina will be stable. Unstable means we cannot predict. One side it will be good, and another side it will be bad. Myocardial infarction, heart failure, arrhythmia. All these may leads to due to the coronary artery blockage. Now, anti-anginal drugs. Here you can see the 2 points I have mentioned, 2 paragraphs. See how the plaque is formed here. This is a healthy coronary artery. See how the flow is there. Okay. And see here atherosclerosis coronary artery. Here there is a plaque formation. Here plaque formation. Here plaque, and here blood clot is there. So from here there is no blood supply. See here, no blood supply. Entire blood is stopped here. So the heart tissue, whatever is there here, it dies. Definitely it dies because of the lack of blood, oxygen, etc. and all. Okay, here see, it is somewhat little flow, but blockage is there. See here, plaque formation is there. Okay, and here you can see the 2 paragraphs. In this paragraph, these 3 lines in first paragraph, see here located, but is sometimes perceived in the arm, neck. The pain is important. See here the point. The pain is usually located substernally, but is sometimes perceived in the neck. Severe pain in the neck, severe pain in the left shoulder and left arm. Okay, and epigastrum. Okay, just like a gastric in the chest, you know, epigastral wall, okay, on the upper side of the stomach. Okay, so from here mainly neck region, shoulder region, entire left arm, these three severe pain, severe and severe pain we will get. That is a main important characteristic of angina pectoris. Keep in your mind, that's an important symptom. Okay, next is women develop angina at a later stage than men and are less likely to have classic substernal pain. So women are very less prone to getting a angina pectoris, whereas the men's are in dangerous position. Men's are, they will get in the early stage and they are the stage of 35, 40, 45. They will, whereas the women's, they will get the angina pectoris in the late, that is a 60, 70, 80. So here it's, they start with 30, 40, 50. Here 50, 60, 70, like that. So women are very lucky in this regard, and men's are unlucky, very bad luck, okay, in this regard, angina pectoris, because the statistics says that, okay, men's are more prone to getting the angina pectoris. Okay, so that's why be careful, all the men's, okay, be careful, don't fall in ischemic and don't get ischemic heart disease. Okay, save the heart, save your heart. Okay, it is very valuable. It the value we cannot predict, we cannot guess the value of the heart also. Okay, yeah, treatment. So in such a critical condition, in such a coronary artery blockage, in such a inadequate blood supply of oxygen, whatever it may be, what we have to do? Treatment strategies. Treatment of angina pectoris. Angina pectoris, I have already told, there is an imbalance between the oxygen demand, oxygen supply, less oxygen supply, more. So what we have to do in order to make the balance, we can do one thing. Here oxygen supply little bit you can increase, and here oxygen demand you can supply little bit. See here, you got my point? So you can match them. You can make it balance. You can make it balance. So what you have to do? Decrease the oxygen demand, increase the oxygen supply. Okay, see here. Reduction of oxygen demand, increase of oxygen delivery to the mind. These are the two important strategies. Two important strategies in order to give the treatment of for the angina pectoris. Okay. And how to make this? What are the drugs which reduces the oxygen demand? What are the drugs which increases the supply, of the blood to the heart? What we can do? How best we can do? What is the either there is availability of any drug which acts both, increases the demand and increases the blood supply. Is there any drug like that? That and all we will go and see now. Mainly two strategies you have to keep in your mind to maintain the balance. Balance you have to be maintained. Okay. See, this slide and this table is very important. You have to write in the examination. Drugs used in the angina pectoris. Okay, mainly three are there. See here, first one is vasodilators. Vasodilators. Vasodilator, name itself indicates dilators. Vasodilators, which dilates the arteries, which dilates the veins. So when it dilates, what happen actually? Blood supply will be increased. Oxygen supply will be increased. Very simple. Okay. And next is, see here, second stage, cardiac depressants. They depresses the cardiac. They decreases the oxygen demand. Okay. So entire your concept will be in your fingertips if you learn the subject pharmacology in a correct way. Otherwise, it is very difficult. See, in order to know this oxygen demand and oxygen supply, you have to know what is coronary artery. You have to know what is a ischemic heart disease. You have to know what is a plaque formation. If you have the knowledge of blockage of all these blood vessels, etc. and all, then only easily you can remember vasodilators, cardiac depressants. Okay? Vasodilators increases the blood supply, increases the blood supply. Cardiac depressants decreases the oxygen demand. So both we are going to balance. You can give the both drugs also. So it balances automatically. You can give one drug or you can give both types of drugs. You can prescribe. Okay. So that you can balance well. And now we will see what is vasodilators. See here, vasodilators, nitrates. This is a very, very important nitrates. Main drug in this, and in angina pectoris, the first choice, first drug is nitrates. Second is calcium channel blocker. See, calcium channel blocker, it acts like a cardiac depressant and it also acts like a vasodilator. I have already told you, this is the calcium. This is one of the important bit. They will give you options, option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. They will ask the question, which of the following drug acts both, decreases the demand, oxygen demand, and increases the blood supply? Calcium channel blockers, CCB. Okay, both dual action, balances exactly. Okay, but first choice is nitrates. Nitrates, first choice. How the nitrates will act? It increases the blood supply. It dilates the blood vessels, increases the blood supply. So automatically blood supply is more. Heart, it meets the demand of heart. Oxygen demand will be met. And other drugs, metabolism modifiers, rate inhibitors. Okay, and all these we will see one by one, okay, in next video, next slides. And nitrates are divided into short duration, intermediate, long duration. See here, short duration, it acts only short period, short duration. Okay, only it acts a half an hour or 1 hour, 2 hours it acts. Whereas the intermediate, it shows its action for a 5 hours like that. Whereas a long duration, it shows 1 day, up to 1 day, the action will be there. That you have to keep in your mind. Short duration, sublingual nitroglycerin. Sublingual means below the tongue. You know that sublingual route. It is very important route in angina pectoris. Okay, nitroglycerin is very, very important drug. Okay, you have to keep the nitroglycerin tablet under the tongue. Immediately your heart, coronary heart vasodilation will occur within a fraction of seconds. Okay, if the arteries will be dilated, increased blood supply, increased oxygen supply also. Okay, and intermediate, oral nitroglycerin. See, this is sublingual nitroglycerin. Sublingual means here. Oral nitroglycerin means just like a tablet, conventional tablet, how you are taking inside. In the same fashion, this oral nitroglycerin you have to take. Okay, it shows a longer, but it doesn't act immediately. Whereas sublingual route, immediately it shows, but only for a shorter time it acts. Okay, whereas intermediate, it starts its action late but acts for a 5 hours. Whereas a long duration, transdermal nitroglycerin, transdermal. See here, transdermal means to the skin, plaster, nitroglycerin plaster. Okay, the plaster which is prepared, it consists of a nitroglycerin inside. So what you have to do, you open the plaster and you stick the heart to your heart. Okay, so when you stick the nitroglycerin heart, okay, automatically the nitroglycerin slowly it enters into the skin and it enters into the blood okay, and it enters into the coronary arteries and it starts dilation of the blood vessels. That is the main mechanism of the vasodilators, okay. And cardiac represent beta blockers. I have already told you beta 1 receptors where it is, beta 2 receptor where it is in my hypertensive, anti-hypertensive video. I have already explained beta blocker. The same beta blockers here you can use. Need not to be read it again, beta blocker. Once you read beta blocker, it's enough. Wherever the beta blocker comes, you can write the same matter. Repeat it. That's it. And other drugs. Rate inhibitor. See here, rate. What rate inhibitors? Now, rate means not price. Heart rate inhibitors. Heart rate will be decreased. Heart rate will be decreased. So oxygen demand will be depressed. Like that. Okay. So I will stop here. Okay. I will end this video. If you have any doubts, you go through you repeat the video and watch all the slides. Take a screenshots. Okay. Wherever you want and practice it. Okay, only practice is the main difference. See, most of the students, they will watch the video and they will left. Whereas intelligent students, they will practice. Okay, they only will get a good marks. Okay, practice makes man perfect. If you are not practicing, you will forget immediately. It's a no doubt in that. No doubt. It looks like that you have understand the concept. No, actually it is not. Actually it is not. But your brains will say, you have understand the concept. Okay, you understand. But if you are not practicing, you will lose the concept from your brain. Okay.